Welcome to Eduauraa live class. This is Professor Arpan, your maths teacher. And students, in today's session, what are we going to discuss? So, we will be discussing about determinants. But before discussing about determinants, let's understand about Eduauraa. What is Eduauraa? So, Eduauraa is basically a digital learning platform. It is basically an app which provides online education at cheaper rates. But what does Eduauraa provide? So Eduauraa provides notes, it provides ebooks, it provides subjective questions, you have mind maps, you have past year papers, you have interactive 2D and 3D videos of 6th to 12th standard, IIT JEE NEET, other competitive exams and spoken English. ये हुआ एड्योरा के बारे में. Now let's move on to the subject. So students, हम लोग आज डिस्कस करने वाले हैं डिटर्मिनेंट्स के बारे में. So what is this determinants? So basically determinants is systematic arrangement of elements in rows and columns, but determinant has a value. So how do we denote determinants? So students, what we will do is we will start with basics of determinants. Now, first of all, determinants हम denote कैसे करते हैं? So we denote determinants with two vertical lines, and let's say we write it as D. Now, in my earlier lecture, as I said that rows and columns. What are rows? Horizontal lines. What are columns? Vertical lines. So यहाँ पे जब हम element डालते हैं, let's say A, B, C and D. So this is how we represent a determinant. And as I said earlier, determinant has a value. So what is that value? So the value of this determinant, whose order क्या होगा यहाँ पे? 2 by 2. Q, because there are 2 rows and 2 columns, and the value of this determinant is nothing but cross multiplication from left to right minus cross multiplication from right to left. So the value of this determinant is basically AD minus BC. So this is how we find value of determinant of order 2 by 2. Now, अगर ये तरीका है determinant value find करने का for order 2 by 2, so what will be the method to find determinant of order 3 by 3? So let's consider one example. So let's say we are given a determinant 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 2, 1, 5 and 6. Now, if I want to find value of this determinant of order 3 by 3, how do we find? So students, consider first row and use LNT rule. Now, when I say LNT rule, that means L को अलग-अलग तरीके से use करना है. कैसे? Now, let us consider 1. So जब 1 को consider किया, remove that particular row and column. So that means उल्टा L use किया. So उल्टा L जब use करते हो, you remove this row, you remove this column. 4 element बचे. Find determinant of this 4 elements. So it will be 1 into 0 into 6, 0 minus 5 into 2 minus 10. Then consider the second element. Now when you consider second element, you have to use change of sign. That means we will be writing minus 2. And when you consider this minus 2, that means remove this row, remove this column. So T form हुआ. So when you remove this row and column, 4 element बचे. कौन से 4? 4, 2, 1 and 6. Find determinant of this 4. So ये क्या होगा? 4 into 6, 24. minus 1 into 2, that is 2. Then consider third element. So third element will be as it is, that is plus 3. And again make use of L. Remove this row and column. 4 element बचे 4 0 1 5. Find determinant of this. तो ये क्या होगा 4 into 5, that is 20, minus 1 into 0, 0. And then you just have to multiply. So next step होगा 0 minus 10, minus 10, minus 10 into 1 is minus 10. 24 minus 2, 22. 22 into minus 2, minus 44. Plus 20 minus 0, 20. 3 into 20, 60. So plus 60. और ये क्या होगा minus 10 minus 44, minus 54. Minus 54 plus 60 is nothing but 6. And this is nothing but the determinant value of this. Now, what we have to do? So this is how we find the value of determinant of order 3 by 3. Now students, when you find the value of this determinant of order 3 by 3, you have to remember one thing. What is that thing? The question. So here the question will be find the value of determinant along first row. So अगर हमें पूछा है along first row, तो जैसे हमने यहाँ पे सॉल्व किया फर्स्ट रो कंसिडर करके, वैसे अगर हमें पूछा है along second row, so you have to consider that way. अगर पूछा है third row, you have to consider that way. Now if you see, when we considered first row, we used some sign convention. क्या था वो? प्लस माइनस प्लस. सिमिलरली सेकेंड रो के लिए भी कुछ ना कुछ साइन कन्वेंशन होगा, थर्ड रो के लिए भी होगा, सिमिलरली कॉलम्स के लिए भी होगा. सो द शॉर्टकट ऑफ दिस साइन कन्वेंशन इज प्लस माइनस प्लस, माइनस प्लस माइनस, and plus minus plus. So suppose if they ask you find determinant along any damn row, हमें sign convention पता है, so we will put sign accordingly. So suppose if they ask you along second row, so second row अगर पूछते हैं तो first term को negative लेना है, second term को positive लेना है, और third term को वापस negative लेना है. So this is basically the sign convention for finding determinant value. Now once you use this sign convention, there is the next part of determinant, and the next part of that determinant is finding minors and cofactors. So ये minors और cofactors क्या है? So basically this minors and cofactors are a path to find some value related to determinants. Now minors in general we denote with M ij, and cofactors in general we denote it with capital A ij. But remember one thing students, minors or cofactors, if you want to find cofactors you should find minors. Without minors you cannot find cofactors. So how to find this? So let's consider one example. So let's say we are given some determinant 1 3 5 7. Find minors and cofactors for that. Now if I want to find minor, since this is a determinant of order 2, यहाँ पे हमें minors easily मिल जाएगा. So कैसे find करेंगे? So when you consider minors, मतलब अगर मुझे minors find करना है तो हर एक एलिमेंट के फाइंड करने पड़ेंगे. यहाँ पे कितने एलिमेंट्स हैं? 4 एलिमेंट्स. कौन से? A11, A12, A21, A22. सो मुझे 4 माइनस फाइंड करना है. कौन से 4 माइनस होंगे? M11, M12, M21 और M22. So how to find this M, 1 1. Now if I want to find minor of this element, ये एलिमेंट कहां पे है? 1 1 पे है. रिमूव दैट रो कॉलम. सो जब ये रो और कॉलम निकाल दिया, क्या बचा? एक एलिमेंट बचा, दैट इज द माइनर. अगर मुझे 3 का माइनर फाइंड करना है, कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? रिमूव दिस रो, रिमूव दिस कॉलम. सो 3 का माइनर क्या हुआ? जो एलिमेंट बचा वो, दैट इज 5. सो M12 क्या हो गया? 5 हो गया. देन M21 अगर फाइंड करना है तो कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? 5 का माइनर क्या होगा? रिमूव दिस रो, रिमूव दिस कॉलम. क्या बचा? 3 बचा. सो M21 इज 3. और अगर M22 फाइंड करना है, रिमूव दिस रो एंड कॉलम. क्या बचा? 1 बचा. सो दैट इज हाउ यू फाइंड माइनर्स. अभी ये हुआ माइनर्स. हाउ टू फाइंड कोफैक्टर्स? सो कोफैक्टर्स फाइंड करने के लिए हमें एक फॉर्मूला यूज करना है. एंड व्हाट इज दैट फॉर्मूला? सो कोफैक्टर्स अगर फाइंड करने हैं, सो द फॉर्मूला फॉर फाइंडिंग कोफैक्टर्स इज -1 raised to I plus j into m ij. Now what does our I and j denotes? I and j denotes number of rows and number of columns. So if I want to find a11, that means I और j replace हो गया 1 और 1 के साथ. So a11 that is -1 raised to 2, -1 raised to 2 positive. M11 क्या होगा? M11 7 है. So a11 भी 7 हो गया. a12 फाइंड करना है. So a12 फाइंड करने के लिए -1 raised to 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. -1 raised to odd power is negative. M12 क्या होगा? M12 3 है. So minus into 3 हो जाएगा -3. Similarly a21 फाइंड करना है. So -1 raised to 2 plus 1, that is -1 raised to 3, negative. M21 क्या होगा? M21 A12 अगर फाइंड करना है तो A12 के लिए क्या करेंगे? -1 raised to 1 plus 2 into M12. M12 is 5, so ये -5 हो गया. A21 फाइंड करना है. So -1 raised to 3, that is minus into M21. M21 क्या है? 3 है. So A21 हो जाएगा -3. Then we need to find A22. So -1 raised to 2 plus 2, that is -1 raised to 4, positive. M22 क्या है? 1 है. So this will be 1. And this is how we find cofactors. ये हुआ cofactors and minus for 2/2. अगर हमें 3/3 पूछा है, so 3/3 के लिए कैसे करेंगे? So let's say we are given some determinant 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 3/3 के लिए अगर माइनस फाइंड करना है तो कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? Now 9 elements, so 9 minors. That means M11 से लेके M33 तक. So मुझे अगर M11 फाइंड करना है तो कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? So 2/2 के लिए हमने क्या किया था? जब ये एलिमेंट कंसिडर करते हो, रिमूव दैट रो एंड कॉलम. 2/2 में एक ही एलिमेंट बचता था, इसके लिए हम लोग ने लिख दिया. बट यहाँ पे 4 एलिमेंट बचेंगे. सो ये 4 एलिमेंट का डिटर्मिनेंट वैल्यू फाइंड करो. दैट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ योर माइनर. सो M11 क्या हो जाएगा? डिटर्मिनेंट ऑफ 5 6 8 एंड 9. सिमिलरली अगर M12 फाइंड करना है तो कैसे करेंगे? सो M12 फाइंड करना है, रिमूव दिस रो, रिमूव दिस कॉलम. सो डिटर्मिनेंट ऑफ रिमेनिंग 4 एलिमेंट्स. व्हाट आर द रिमेनिंग 4 एलिमेंट्स? 4 6 7 एंड 9. सिमिलरली M13 के लिए रिमूव दिस रो एंड कॉलम, डिटर्मिनेंट ऑफ रेस्ट 4 एंड सो ऑन. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, ये हुआ माइनर्स. अभी अगर कोफैक्टर्स फाइंड करने हैं, सो what was the general formula? So it was aij is equal to minus 1 raised to I plus j into mij. Now अगर फॉर्मूला साथ में है, माइनस फाइंड किया है, यू कैन फाइंड इट, बट इसमें भी एक शॉर्टकट है. व्हाट इज दैट शॉर्टकट? सो I plus j, that is rows and columns. Now if the value of this I plus j is an even number, your minors and cofactors are same. If the value of this I plus j are odd numbers, the value of minors and cofactors changes by sign. Remember this thing. What is the shortcut? If I plus j is even, minors cofactors are same. If I plus j is odd, minors and cofactors changes by sign. Remember this shortcut, you can find cofactors directly. Now हम लोग ने ये माइनर्स और कोफैक्टर्स सीख तो लिया, यूज कहां पे करेंगे? Now students, there is something called as finding inverse of a matrix. So हमें अगर इनवर्स ऑफ अ मैट्रिक्स फाइंड करना है, so inverse of a matrix के लिए there are 3 different methods. So the first method is elementary row transformation. Second method is elementary column transformation. And the third method is nothing but adjoint method. So ये जो माइनर्स और कोफैक्टर्स है वो हम यूज करेंगे इनवर्स फाइंड करने लिए with help of this method. Now the formula to find inverse of a matrix using adjoint method is A inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. Remember this formula, students. The formula to find inverse of a matrix using adjoint method is A inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. But how to find adjoint of A? So before finding inverse, let us understand how to find adjoint of A. So we'll consider one example. So let's say हमें एक determinant दिया है 2, 3, 5, -6. सबसे पहले इसका determinant value find करते हैं. So determinant value for 2 by 2 कैसे find करेंगे? Cross multiplication from left to right, minus right to left. So 2 into -6, -12, minus 3 into 5, which is -15, and the answer here is -27. After finding the determinant, what we have to do is we have to find minors. So minors find करने के लिए हम क्या करेंगे? M11 क्या था? M11, consider this element, remove the row and column. So M11 -6, M12 क्या मिलेगा? Remove this row and column, 5. M21 के लिए remove this row and column, 3. और M22 फाइंड करने के लिए remove this row and column, that is 2. Once you find minors, cofactors are easy to find. Shortcut, what is the shortcut? So cofactors अगर फाइंड करने हैं, so A11, if I plus j even, minor cofactors same. If I plus j odd, changes by sign. So a11 will be same as m11, which is minus 6. a12, 1 plus 2 odd, so changes by sign, minus 5. a21, 2 plus 1 odd, changes by sign, minus 3. And a22 क्या हुआ, 2 plus 2 4 even, that means same. अभी ये तो कोफैक्टर्स फाइंड कर लिए, हमें फाइंड करना है एडजॉइंट. सो जब ये कोफैक्टर्स फाइंड करते हो तो उसको एक मैट्रिक्स फॉर्म में लिख दो. सो द कोफैक्टर मैट्रिक्स क्या होगा, a11 की जगह पे -6, 12 की जगह पे -5, 21 की जगह पे -3 और 22 की जगह पे 2. ये हुआ कोफैक्टर मैट्रिक्स. नाउ in my previous session of matrices I told you about transpose of a matrix. What is transpose of a matrix? Interchanging of rows and columns, that is r1 changes to c1, r2 to c2, r3 to c3. So students, when you find transpose of this cofactor matrix, तो क्या हो जाएगा, ये जो r1 है वो c1 में चेंज होगा, दैट मींस -6 -5, और r2 चेंज हो जाएगा c2 में. और ये जो मैट्रिक्स फॉर्म हुआ, दिस इज नथिंग बट योर adjoint. So how to find adjoint? Find minors, find cofactors, write it in a matrix form, and then find its transpose. So adjoint is basically transpose of cofactor matrix. So अगर हमें इनवर्स फाइंड करना है, सो इनवर्स फाइंड करने के लिए फॉर्मूला क्या था, A inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. हमने यहाँ पे मैट्रिक्स डी, हमने यहाँ पे डिटर्मिनेंट डी कंसीडर किया था, सो उसका वैल्यू हमें मिल गया -27. हमें यहाँ पे कोफैक्टर्स फाइंड करने थे, हमने कोफैक्टर्स फाइंड कर दिए. हमें एडजॉइंट चाहिए था, तो एडजॉइंट मिल गया. सो कैन वी फाइंड इनवर्स डायरेक्टली नाउ? नाउ दिस इज हाउ यू सॉल्व to find inverse of a matrix using adjoint method. Let's consider one sum. So if we are given A is equal to some matrix 1 5 3 13. So first of all we need to find inverse of this matrix. So to find inverse of this matrix, the first and the basic condition is कि ये matrix एक non singular matrix होना चाहिए. That means we need to find determinant. So determinant of A क्या हो जाएगा, cross multiplication from left to right minus right to left. So 1 into 14 14 minus 3 into 5, that is 15. So क्या मिला, -1. -1 मतलब a non-zero number. So we can say that A is a non-singular matrix. So determinant value मिल गया, हमें फाइंड करना है इनवर्स. So inverse फाइंड करने के लिए using adjoint method, the formula says that A inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. Now students, we are supposed to find adjoint, but to find adjoint we need minors and cofactors, and as I said earlier, minors and cofactors are a path to find something, and that something is nothing but your adjoint. So let's find minors and cofactors. So M11 क्या होगा, so M11 इसका माइनर होगा 14, M12 क्या होगा इसका माइनर होगा 3, m21 क्या होगा, ये नंबर का माइनर होगा 5 और m22 क्या होगा, so m22 will be nothing but 1. Once you find minors, how to find cofactors? The shortcut: if the addition of I plus j even, minus cofactors are same. If the addition I plus j is odd, changes by sign. So cofactors क्या होगा, capital A11 will be 14, capital A12 क्या होगा, -3, capital A21 क्या होगा, -5 and capital A22 क्या होगा, 1. Once you find cofactors, write it in a matrix form. So cofactor matrix is equal to, write this cofactors in a matrix form. So this will be 14, -3, -5 and 1. Once you form a cofactor matrix, find transpose of that, because adjoint of A is nothing but cofactor matrix का transpose. So students, अगर ये cofactor matrix है, transpose क्या होगा, interchanging of rows and columns, that is R1 to C1, R2 to C2, R3 to C3. So from this we get 14 -3 -5 and 1. Now question क्या था, to find inverse of a matrix. To find inverse of a matrix using adjoint method, what all things were needed? Determinant of A, adjoint of A, मिल गया. So write your formula. So A inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint of A. Determinant of A क्या मिला था students? Determinant of A हमें मिला था -1. So -1 into adjoint of A क्या मिला? Adjoint of A मिला ये matrix, that is 14 -5 -3 और 1. So from this the inverse of a matrix will be -14, 5, -3 and -1, and this is how we find inverse of a given matrix using adjoint method. Now students, this is how we find inverse of a matrix. I hope it is clear. I hope it is easy. Yes. So now let's move on to the next part. But moving on to the next part, that means you have to find a determinant but with a shortcut method. What is that shortcut method? So students, हमें पता है डिटर्मिनेंट ऑफ अ मैट्रिक्स कैसे फाइंड करते हैं, या डिटर्मिनेंट वैल्यू कैसे फाइंड करते हैं फॉर 3/3 यूजिंग नॉर्मल एक्सपेंशन मेथड. हमने साइन कन्वेंशन भी पढ़ा था, बट कभी कभी वो मेथड बहुत लेंथी हो जाता है. सो वी नीड टू फाइंड शॉर्टकट्स. व्हाट इज दैट शॉर्टकट? नाउ इफ यू वांट टू फाइंड determinant value, remember the shortcut. Suppose if you are finding determinant value along first row, so the formula says it is A11 into capital A11 plus A12 into capital A12 plus A13 into capital A. So this is the formula to find determinant value with help of a shortcut. Now, what does this A11, A12 and A13 denotes? So this small a11, small a12 and small a13 denotes your elements. And what does this capital A11, capital A12, and capital A12 denotes? It basically denotes your cofactors. So from this we conclude that if we want to find determinant of a matrix, multiply element with its cofactor of a particular row, you will get the value of determinant directly. Now, suppose if the question says find determinant value along second row. So अगर मुझे second row की हेल्प से डिटर्मिनेंट वैल्यू फाइंड करनी तो कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? सो सबसे पहले सेकेंड रो में कौन से एलिमेंट्स आएंगे? इट विल बी 2 1 2 2 and 2 3. Now the formula will become A21 into capital A21 plus A22 into capital A22 plus A23 into capital A. So this is how we find the value of determinant along second row. Similarly, along third row. Similarly, first column, second column, third column. कोई भी रो या कॉलम की हेल्प से अगर फाइंड करते हो, सब जगह पे the value of determinant will be same. But there is a condition. By chance, if you consider elements of one row and cofactors of some other row, the answer will always be 0. Remember this thing? This will help you in your MCQs. If you multiply, or you can say if you consider elements of one row and cofactors of some other row, the answer will always be equal to 0. So students, I hope you enjoyed your today's session. I hope you liked today's session. Now, after this, moving on to the next part. The next part is how to find area of triangle with help of a determinant. So what you have to do is you just have to remember a formula. So the area of triangle. Now the area of triangle with help of determinant is basically area of some triangle is equal to 1 by 2 into determinant of x1 x2 x3 y1 y2 y3 1 1 1. Just remember this formula. Along with it, there is one more formula which is equal to 1 by 2 into कुछ नहीं करना है, सिर्फ रो कॉलम को इंटरचेंज कर देना है. So this will become x1 x2 x3 y1 y2 y3 1 1 1. And this is the formula to find area of triangle using determinant form. So students, what is the formula? The formula is area of triangle is equal to half into determinant of x1 x2 x3 y1 y2 y3 1 1 1, and it is also equal to half into determinant of x1 x2 x3 y1 y2 y3 1 1 1. And this is how we find area of triangle using determinant form. Now students, ये हुई formula. Now there is one condition. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा? There are chances that you might get the answer of this area of triangle in negative form, but area cannot be negative, so we always consider the positive value and find the answer. So remember this thing: whenever you get answer of area of triangle is negative, you have to consider the positive value of it. Why? Because ये जो x1 x2 x3 और y1 y2 y3 है वो बेसिकली कोऑर्डिनेट्स है, सो देयर आर चांसेस कि यहाँ पे आंसर नेगेटिव आ सकता है. नाउ this is how you find area of triangle with help of determinant form. Now students, moving on to the next part. The next part is where to use this determinant. So you can use this determinant to find area of triangle. You can use this determinant to find unknown equations, that is with the help of Kramer's rule. and you can use this determinant with help of inverse formula to find value of x and y, but also in a matrix form. So this was about determinant, students. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I hope you liked today's session. If you want more such sessions, download Eduauraa app. You have 14 days free trial, so you can make maximum use of it. So students, let's end this session here. I hope you liked it. All the best for your exam. I hope you come out with flying colors. This is Professor Arpan signing off for the day. Enjoy.